Hello, my friends. Welcome to our midday broadcast. For those of you that are watching this on Facebook or watching this on LinkedIn, welcome. And for those of you that are watching this on my YouTube channel, welcome. And of course, my students that are participating in this live broadcast, welcome as well. Tonight, we have our final session of boot camp, closing the sale. Now, let me ask you a rhetorical question. If you only talked about your business with people that needed and wanted what you're selling, and you never experienced rejection, how would that feel? How would that make you feel? You'd feel terrific. If there were no limits to talking the perfect prospect for your business, so that you knew every time you sat down in front of your laptop or desktop, you could go into your message area and see another great prospect has written back to you. And you know, as we're going through this process, where it's going to end. How'd you feel? You'd be jumping up and down. That's how you'd feel. Let me take a look in the chat window. Right. Barbara, we feel awesome. Sheila would say you wouldn't stop talking to people. Of course you wouldn't. So at the end of the day, it all comes down to who are you talking to? Who? So again, it's all about conversation. There's a secret to selecting perfect prospects on LinkedIn from the pool of 920 million professionals that are on it. And it's all about who you select to talk to. And LinkedIn makes it easy. LinkedIn makes it easy. So who would be a perfect prospect for your business? Do you know who they are? Do you have any clue as to the types of people by profession that would naturally be interested in what you're doing? Closing more sales and enrolling more reps is less about selling and more about listening, solving problems. If your prospect doesn't have problems that could be solved by working with you, doesn't feel like they need your product, or doesn't want to get into a business, it's a waste of time and effort to talk to them. The reason that most people fail in sales or network marketing, lose a lot of money and time, is they try to sell their product or opportunity to the wrong people. So keep this in the back of your mind when you're talking to someone. You can't sell filet mignon at 2 cents a pound to a vegetarian. All right, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to jump over here. We're going to jump into LinkedIn. So we're gonna jump into Catherine's account. And Catherine is talking to Devon. Okay, so first let's take a look at who you're talking to. Open to work. Last time she worked was August of last year. So what have you been doing for work? All right. This was Monday. So first, let's find something motivating quote. So first, we're going to pop in the motivating message. Going to send that. Then now what we're going to say how long find out how long she was looking. All right, let's pop out of here. Here, let me unmute Matt. Matt, you asked me a question the other day. Something about Facebook.
Yes, sir. How are we doing?
Good. How's everything in your world?
Okay.
All right. So what was the question about Facebook?
I'm just starting to use that, and you join a couple of groups and you're trying to friend people, and sometimes it just says you can't friend them.
Okay.
I'm not sure how you exactly get around that.
Okay. So have I been in your Facebook account? I don't think so.
No.
All right. Why don't you pop in the chat the email address and the password you use.
Okay.
Get in and we'll go in there and we'll see what the issue is. Now, Facebook is a little bit of a different animal. And Catherine, that's exactly right. You ask a question that you already know the answer to. You want to step them through the process. Let me.
Really?
They don't like that password.
I know. I just did it, and I even copy, zoom, chat. What it is? Just highlighted it. Yeah, it's the same. I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, it logs me in when I do that.
What do they say? The definition of insanity is to keep trying to do the same thing over and over again. Okay, so can't get in. So we'll do this another way. Okay, so describe to me what you're doing. You're going into a group.
Yeah, so I'm in a group, people are talking, and then
Okay, what group?
uh let me see.
Okay, so you're in a group, you're a member of the group,
Yeah,
and people
Yeah.
are talking. They're talking inside the group.
yeah. And you try to friend people, and a few of them say, okay, send friend request. Like that's the way it's supposed to be. But then other ones are like, says you can't do it.
Okay. You're trying to do this while you're in the group, right?
Yeah,
So here's what you need to do. Groups put limitations on what you could do with other members in the group. So if there's someone in the group that you want to connect with,
yeah,
pull up their profile,
yeah.
pull it up and copy their unique URL. All right. Then what you now that you've got it,
Where is that?
well, okay, for example, anybody
Like up on a search bar?
yeah, in other words, okay, let's take a look at Candace here. So this is her URL up here at the top.
Mm-hmm.
So you get their URL. Then what you want to do is open up another window on Facebook.
Uh-huh.
Totally different window. You might even want to do it if you're working with Google Chrome, you might want to do it on Firefox. Then what you do is you paste their URL. You open up the URL
Yeah. New window.
and in a totally new window. And send them a friend request from there.
Mm-hmm.
And again, sometimes people limit you. In fact, one of the most effective ways of using groups, you jump in, you see who's a member of the group, but you communicate with them directly and privately.
On like Messenger.
Yeah, yeah. A few years ago, when I was first doing this is back in the old AOL days, it was all about chat rooms.
Right.
Okay, so I created a chat room called the Millionaires Lounge. all right? And what happened, and so I'm in there. And initially, you only had 30 people that could get in. Then they opened it up to 60. It was a maximum number of 60 people. And man, people wanted to get into that chat room. So someone even came up with a tool that you could use where you could, because you could see who was in the room,
Yeah.
where you could actually, from outside the chat room, you could knock them out of the room. So you could make room for yourself. And so I never talked to anybody in that chat room. All right. It was always
Right. Not in the group, just one-on-one.
and back then they used to call it lofting. Like loft, we're not in the room, we're in the loft above the room having private conversations.
Yeah.
And people were more open, people would tell you things in a private one-to-one texting chat than
Right.
they in a room full of other people.
Yeah, like
So-
you don't want to talk business in a chat room anyway, so.
Well, right.
One.
Right. Well, believe me, a lot of people do. And the people that do end up getting thrown,
Yeah.
they get thrown out of the group.
Yeah.
Now, the one thing I want to point out is that if you look at a group, I remember, again, equating it to chat room activity. Nurses online. You go into that room, 60 people, maybe 15 of them were actual nurses.
Yeah.
And the other 45 were in the room either trying to meet nurses or sell something to the nurses. So meeting people in a chat room is not necessarily the most effective way to network and and connect with people.
Yeah.
But it's certainly one. Another thing that you could do, you go up here in the top and see Facebook doesn't have good searches. So we could go people. We could first we could look for people by profession. Let's see what happens when we type in sheriffs. So here you have the big one is the Union County Sheriff's Office. So you click on it. So one way to do it would be to look to see now. What you really want to do is you really want to join the group. So these are people that follow the group. Now, it's not really the best way, to search. And the truth is that so please, people, God, you look at this and you go, you have to say, God bless LinkedIn.
Yeah. LinkedIn's much easier.
Oh, much, much, much easier. But the other thing that you could do, again, if you're searching for people, people live in Miami. Again, it's just,
And there's groups for everything.
I'm sorry.
There's groups for everything.
Well, there's groups for everything, but what the social networks do is they limit accessibility simply because it's a common impulse. I'm gonna join the group. And when you join the group, you are subject to being bombarded by all kinds of messages from people. In fact, if I come over to my homepage, let me just scroll down here a bit. So these are all the friend requests that I've gotten. So you scroll down. Okay, Debbie. So you scroll down. And again, what you see on the page starts with the picture. Starts with the picture. So who is this person right here? You come down here and you're going to find there isn't a lot here.
Yeah.
All right. So you begin to recognize by, again, the content of the page and so I'm very, very good friends with Brian Biro. So you come down and you look at who are these people? Who are your mutual friends? And again, everybody's thinking, now notice over here, the things that they like. What you do is there's an area on your page, more. Where you can list the things that you have in common. So let's take a look at something here. Jackie, you seem to be excited.
Oh my God. So the church guy wrote back
Mhm.
and I found somebody that went to the OUP. I mean, what's it called? The UPW event. So we're in this hot conversation. And what was cool about that is 70% of the people at that event have their own business, and the other 30% want to create their own business. So that's going to be interesting to follow that up. And then another prospect is just writing like crazy and got shut off Wi-Fi. And so she's back and telling me about all the resumes that she's been pumping out for jobs.
Well, you know, something that these people that you're all, you know, conversing with that went to this Tony Robbins event, quite often people go to networking events specifically to mix, mingle, you know, with other people, meet other people. And so when you're meeting somebody at a Tony Robbins event, you know, you're meeting someone that's positive, certainly like-minded to you. One of my earliest coaching students, who was a phenomenal friend, she was a $1 million earner in Isogenics, and she belonged to Tony Robbins Platinum.
Oh, yes.
So, you know, when you're a platinum member, you know, and it costs her over $100,000 a
Oh,
year.
yes.
But she used to go to all these exotic, you know, all these exotic places where he has these events. And she would always, at every event, end up making a new friend, just one.
Yeah.
And bringing them into her business.
So I was on team 51 and I have 191 email addresses from that event.
Okay. Now,
So we'll have to talk about that sometime. But a tip for Matt, right? Matt's your name, right? A tip for you is there was one ex-military gentleman who was interviewed by Tony who cried because he wants to help ex-military people build business.
Nice.
Yeah, I thought of you.
Yeah, it's good. It's good motives.
Yes.
Well, you know, here's the thing, that it doesn't matter where you meet them. All right. In fact, it's too bad it doesn't work, because an email address, you know, LinkedIn offers the service, Facebook offers the service, and you could go in there and you could look people up by their email address.
Oh,
It's
well, I don't exactly know how I found this woman, but I did search her name and that's how I found her. So that was my first question. Did you go to the event? And oh, it just lit her right up. So anyway, we'll have to talk about that. I'd like to pursue that, because even from a product standpoint, part of the event was all about health. And of course, that's my forte, right?
Yep.
So anyway, thank you.
No, and yeah, unfortunately, you can't search, you know, in the settings on LinkedIn. You know, they tell you. Let me. Kind of demonstrate it. So you go to your settings. And Profile discovery using email address. Profile discovery using their phone number.
Oh, I have that.
Yes, you do. Unfortunately, they don't work.
Oh,
Okay, I mean, it's annoying. You know, it's really annoying because if I wanted to do a search for someone on LinkedIn by phone number, so I get out of this. Come back home. Doesn't come up.
you can't, right?
You can't.
You can with the phone number.
No, you can't.
Is that a can or a cannot?
Cannot.
Okay.
Cannot do it with a
Okay,
phone.
so I have an alternative idea. It's 191, I think, email addresses. I'm going to write to each one and give them my LinkedIn address individually. Otherwise, it's spamming them if I do it as one big list, I think.
You know, it is. Now, what was this group? Or what was this?
It's like there was 200,000 people at the event, and on our team alone, we were team 51. I don't know, is there I forget how many people, but the 200 people maybe. And I have a list of contacts because the team wants to keep together. And the event is all about business and making money and moving forward and empowering yourself in 2023. So I got to find a way to reach out to them. And I think the best way is just to invite them to my LinkedIn.
Absolutely, you can definitely do that. Now, another thing that you could do is you could follow him.
Oh, I am. And I comment on everything.
Oh, you're about to unfollow.
Sorry.
So I'm already following him. I'm already following him.
Okay.
So now, because I'm following him, over here, you've got mutual connections. So you can see all the other people that you're directly connected to that are also following him.
Oh, that's cool.
All right.
Yeah.
So, for example, you got some pretty heavy duty people. Randy Gage, big time network marketer. Steve Siebold is a very good friend who teaches speaking. I actually recruited him into the network marketing business I was in. Darren Hardy, huge, was one of the master distributors in our company. So you got all of these people here that
Amazing.
when you know, and I see these are the people that I'm already connected to.
Yeah. Great.
So you go over here and you bring up their profile. And
Wow.
again, what most people don't realize.
Oh, I like that University of Hard Knocks.
But what most people don't realize is he's got 55,000 followers. If you click on his connection, you can see his connections.
Oh my goodness.
All right. So,
What he doesn't know.
well, Darren's a very good friend, and
I see.
he doesn't care because
Really?
he's not trying to build a network marketing business and anything that he can do. But here's somebody that is not only connected, but he's looking for something to do.
Yeah. Well, there was a lot of expression of that. A lot of expression of it.
That's, big time network marketers make it a habit of going to these events.
They're a different caliber of people. They're open-hearted, like Tony's heart. They're open-hearted people that are positive, and for the most part, I mean, there were some that weren't, but I like the caliber of people.
Mhm, mhm. So at the end of the day, it really, what it comes down to is access to people. And then once you're connected, then it's all about conversation.
Yes.
It's all about who are you talking to?
Yes. And thankfully she's gone to have a rest so I can have time to think about what my next question is. She says, I'm sorry, I must go to rest. Anyway, thanks for your help.
Okay, now let me pop back over here. And so Matt, let me ask you a question.
Yep.
If I jumped into your LinkedIn account.
Yep.
And looked at some of the conversations you're having.
Yep.
Am I going to be happy with what I see?
Some.
All right, well, let's go and take a look. Years ago, I was working with a woman that literally chased me. It was an Isogenics event, and I wasn't adding coaching students, but she latched on my son, and literally she just was all over him to the point where he convinced me. He says, you gotta work with this girl. And she was a scientist. She had been working for this company for 25 years. Hated her job. And she wanted to use, at the time it was Facebook, to build her business. And so, in addition to working at this place, she was also a yoga instructor. She was all over the place. She was a networker wherever she went. She'd go into Starbucks and meet somebody. Hey, are you on Facebook? Let's connect. And then she started sending them motivational messages, and they loved her. And first month, she signed up 26 people.
Wow.
She says, Max, you tell me what to do, I will do it exactly. And she did. So in February, she comes back. She says, Max, my family has this vacation. We're going to Cancun for 10 days. I really don't want to go, but so I'm going to put this aside for 10 days. And when I come back, I'll pick it up again. She recruited the 2 airline stewardesses on the flight going down there.
Nice.
So she's high, she's excited. Then she comes back from Cancun, and I get a frantic phone call from her 5 days after she's back. Help. I haven't talked to anybody. I haven't come close to making a sale. I lost it. And as soon as I jumped into her account, I could see exactly what her problem was. She's making connections with people, and I went in to look at the connections, and it was no follow-up. Hey, it's nice to meet you, blah, blah, blah. What do you do? She wasn't following the scripts. She wasn't following the activity, nothing. And as soon as I pointed it out, I says, look, this is why it's not working for you. So she comes, she got it. And about 4 hours later, she called me back up and says, man, she says, you're absolutely right. I got 4 appointments set for tomorrow. So it's a process. All right. And so it all comes down. And this is something that you do as you're starting to build your team. So you bring somebody into the business. You can just have them go over to their network. And all right, so how many people did you reach out to yesterday? You can count it up. How
Yeah.
many people did you reach out to last week? It's basically all right here.
Yeah.
Then you go back over to your connections. And again, what are we doing with them? So we'll come down here. This was 4 days ago.
Yeah, just police talk with him.
I'm sorry, what?
Just police talk with that guy. It's very beginning.
Okay, right. So
He's still.
now, see, this isn't live. You know, you're writing to him, he's writing back.
Yeah.
And so he's retired. So according to this,
Oh, he's working. He told me.
yeah, he's right. According to this, he's still working.
Yeah.
So
He wasn't on the profile until I talked to him. That he's working.
all right. Well, you know, you got your own style, but
Yeah, I don't think that's a business guy. After I find out he's working.
well, not necessarily.
Yeah, you never know. I'm still working. I'm doing it.
Not necessarily. The idea is that your time is valuable. So this person is looking for a remote opportunity. It's from 1 week ago. So we get busy. All right. Well, you're coming right out. You know, what do you do? But you've never really made, he accepted you. You want to get the conversation going. That's why we have that motivating image about dreams.
Yeah.
I usually send these out to all of my friends. And then instead of asking, what do you do? Because when you think about it, what do you do? According to this, he's a personal trainer.
Yeah.
And bilingual data collector, but everything else here. Oh, he's doing all kinds of different things. The key is to give them a reason to come back. Thank you, which is why we send some kind of a motivating message.
Okay.
And let me. All right, so let me. So what you could do. Is blast this out to everybody.
Right.
Well, obviously you need to do it in the morning,
Right.
but
I've done that with one of these perseverance ones or something like that.
yeah, see, so let's go over there because what builds rapport? What gets people interested in you is what you post.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's not just about the more of these you do, the more activity you're going to end up getting.
Hmm.
And that's what it's all about. Now, tonight in boot camp, we're going to go into closing the sale. And I've got something extra special for everybody. It's a part of boot camp. Make it a little easier to communicate with folks. And so whenever you see it, that somebody that posts something that you like, even if you're not connected, you go down and you love it. This is another way to communicate with people. They see you doing this.
Yeah. Don't they get a notification when you do one of those?
And see, even if it's old, they still get a notice that you like what they did. And that's what it's all about. At the end of the day, it's always going to come down to conversation.
Hmm.
And Tony Robbins calls rapport magical. And it is. So I will see all of you that are in boot camp tonight. Until next time, best of luck in building your business. And just remember this, folks, that you have unlimited access, free access to people. There's nothing to stop you from going all the way to the top of your business. You just need to talk to enough of the right people.